Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to the 5,000 subscriber Q&A, question and answer. Ask those questions, I will fucking answer. So, man, a lot of fucking questions. It seems like almost everybody who watched the video asked the question. So the 5,000 subscribers took a long fucking time to accomplish, doing it the right way, without doing fake thumbnails, without doing sub for sub. To all those who didn't ask a question and just congratulated me, thank you, I appreciate it. If I didn't get around to answering your question, I apologize, and if enough people complain, I'll do a part 2. How about that? So to keep this short and sweet and keep rolling with questions so it doesn't get boring, I cut it down to one question per person. All right, just to be fair, and maybe in the part 2 I'll answer additional questions. It depends. All right, guys. So let's start off. Red Wolf 316 asked, "Do you think any of the current roster guys would have lasted during the Attitude Era?" Yeah, I think so. You got a lot of good talent. Hey, look, fucking Kevin Owens. Didn't say I didn't like the guy. I said he's not ready for the title. But if this was during the Attitude Era and we're talking about Vince Russo and F. Ferrara being the writers, you know that a lot of these guys would have not only probably been in better shape like Kevin Owens, but they would have had a lot better character. And they would have actually been truly over with the audience because they would have had a larger audience, and therefore they would have had a chance to get even more over. So, yeah, I think a lot of these guys would be over in the Attitude Era. There's a lot of fucking talent on the roster. They're just, underdeveloped characters, and they're not getting a chance to really showcase what they could do or what they could potentially do. Scott H. asked me, where do you think WWE will be at in a decade? I think exclusively on their network. I don't think that this company has any interest in prospering, growing, doing anything out of the norm. And I think USA is just going to get sick of their 3-hour shit fest. And they're just going to simply tell them to just, to leave. They're not going to sign them to a new contract. If I'm remembering correctly, USA, this last contract that they signed with them, they almost didn't sign with them. And I think WWE had to pay a little bit more to be on the network. So you could see that them and USA, they're not really fucking clicking. And with the declining ratings, USA's looking at that. And they're just going to fucking eventually just tell them to leave. And they're going to be exclusively on their network. So they got 2 million subscribers, right, on their network. So it'll be like the same thing with people watching it on USA. That's all that's left is the hardcore fans. Blader asks, what is your favorite Raw in the PG New Era? Wow. That is really, really fucking hard to pinpoint. I guess the one where Nexus beat the shit out of John Cena. I mean, that's probably the most memorable one. Or one of the ones with maybe CM Punk dropping the pipe bomb, or CM Punk re-signing the contract with Vince McMahon. Those are all pretty good, solid Raws. And I didn't really hate 2011 that much. I thought that there was a lot to like about that particular year. As far as things didn't go as planned that year. Definitely they did not. It was a little bit fucked up, but there was a lot more entertainment than in 2011 than there was in 2012, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Silva Surfer! That's how he spells it with an A. Says, will you ever do Impact reviews? Doing Raw and SmackDown is really more than enough. And Impact is not really capturing my interest. They already look like they lost a lot of steam after the final deletion. No one is talking about them again. No one's even really talking about broken Matt Hardy. But I don't know. There's got to be a lot more people asking for Impact reviews, and quite frankly, there isn't a lot of people asking. So, it's because there's not many. It's just pretty much who's watching my videos, right? So it's because there's not even that many people watching WWE, right? So I'm only gonna get a fragment of those people coming to my videos, and a couple of people don't watch WWE anymore. So it's going to be a little bit weird, like who's going to watch and who's not. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of viewership in an Impact review. Um, Cowboys own Eagles. Why aren't you a sports fan? So that's really simple to really answer. It's because my dad's not into sports. So usually, like, the father passes on, like, the sports fanaticism to his son. And since he's not a sports fanatic, I'm not a sports fanatic. We did watch it a little bit in the mid '90s. Like, remember um, the championship game, the playoff finals between the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls, when they had Karl Malone and Michael Jordan, and you had those huge superstars. Um, it to me, I thought that was pretty awesome, and the names of those guys just playing was enough to want to watch. But other than that, watched a couple of World Series games. I've been to a Yankee game. I've been to a couple of Mets games, and that's about it. And it's not really because I really wanted to go. It's just because I was going with friends and family, and that's about it. Um, so Vision Silva, another person that's oddly like Silver Surfer. Are you guys like related or some shit? Don't know. Do you think wrestling will ever get another boom period? Um, no, no. I don't think they are. In order for them to have a boom period, they'd have to do a lot of interesting things in succession. Look how many interesting things WWE and WCW had to do before they got their boom period. The NWO had to still be around for a couple of years before the boom period started. And WWE had to stay with DX for like almost a year before the boom period started. You didn't really have a boom period until, like the middle of 1998, and then the ratings really started to snowball. And so when you look at this current product and you talk to me about a boom period, that's pretty fucking laughable. I don't think there is going to be one anytime soon. There hasn't been one for a while. Things, society has changed. Things have gotten a lot, different. And I know why WWE does the things that they do, because things like they used to do with women and stuff is because it's a much different time. And I feel like Russo touches on this in his podcast, but he doesn't really go the whole way with it. He wants to know, why do certain fans get upset when they say, like, women are being objectified and all this shit, this fucking bullshit, the feminist bullshit. Then that's because feminism reigns supreme, militant feminism. And you've got a whole bunch of other fucking politically correct bullshit, and that's why WWE does it. I don't think really because they want to do it, because they have to do it in today's society, because they get so upset in a day and age where we have to have gay characters on TV, or otherwise there's a fucking outrage, or we have to have certain lines of dialogue altered in order to satisfy certain special interest groups in this country. It's fucking retarded. Fucking retarded. All the censorship. And that's exactly why things have changed, and that's why there can't be a boom period, because it can't. Ari Ortiz asks, who are your favorite YouTubers in the YWC? Well, Wrestling Jesus is my favorite. I mean, the guy's fucking great. I also liked you remember what's his name that was on here? Shady, the dude who was from Brooklyn, the guy who's also from New York City. Um, sadly he stopped doing wrestling content. He's doing videos with his girlfriend on another channel. Um, I like the BDF network with Bubba Fudd Duncan. Um, those are some good ones. I like watching wrestling regret, even though I disagree with the anti-Russo pro Jim Cornette message. If you're a Jim Cornette fan, there's no problem. Cornette's a smart guy. I think he cuts a good promo and everything. He's a good manager. But holy fucking shit, if you're gonna be like sniffing Cornette's fucking used underwear, then Jesus fucking Christ. I've said it time and time again. Jim Cornette has never profited, never made wrestling profitable. He's never had wrestling get any better ratings. Russo has. All right? That's why I talk about Russo and I don't say that Cornette's so I like him. Spoonie won. Noah, Ant Wheeler, however you say his last name. He also does some wrestling reviews. So I like his stuff as well. I do like What Culture, even though they're full of a bunch of smarts. I do enjoy their top tens. So yeah, even if I do disagree with the message, I still am entertained by the presentation in those videos. So, I those are some of my favorites. But as far as like the wrestling shooters, yeah, I'm gonna go with probably WJ on that one. Um, Kyle Brachetto asked, "Have you ever listened to the band Tantric?" I haven't. Well, I gotta look them up. I mean, it's pretty easy. I'll put it into Spotify and I'll check them out. But thanks for the recommendation. Vegetable Hero. Ooh, the hero of vegetables. Yes. No, I see you comment a lot on my videos. Have you ever seen The Killing Joke? Thoughts? No, I haven't. And it's pretty shameful. I should probably buy the graphic novel. I need to watch it. I'm pretty sure it's even uploaded here on YouTube in one form or another. I've heard some mixed things about it. Like, I don't think it does the graphic novel justice, but I don't know. Yeah, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna definitely watch it. Abdullah Shaker asks, "What's your favorite and least favorite, world title belt design?" That I'd probably have to say my favorite. I've said it a number of times actually. Is the Attitude Era World Title. That is the best. That's the best one. I mean, and the funny thing is, like I said, the tag title is like the same shape, but the way how this was designed, it doesn't look like a penny. That is such an iconic looking belt. I think it's awesome. I think it really improved on the already great winged eagle belt. And my least favorite design, um, probably, now that I've had a chance to really look at the belts, the John Cena one, that one just looked fucking stupid. I know they stopped it from spinning, but still, it just that I did not like that belt at all. It looked bad, and I was not fucking happy with it. American Dream asks, will WWE ever forgive Hulk Hogan? I think they will. I really think they will. If not, like at this WrestleMania, then next WrestleMania or something. Hulk Hogan had his privacy invaded. You already know how I feel about this, guys. It'll get me called a racist, of course, because that's just the world we're living in. Hulk Hogan said something because his daughter was insulted and treated very badly by a black man. So Hulk Hogan said something that, you wouldn't normally say in public, except he didn't say it in public. He said it, in privacy. but it was recorded. So, right there, that's what you consider to be a little bit of like, not officially, but some form of entrapment. He couldn't avoid being recorded. He didn't know he was being recorded. He was just, it's said out of anger. Because the thing is, if your daughter was treated badly by a man, I think that you'd probably say the same fucking thing. I'm just going to fucking say that, guys. Um, Robert Reyes says, will I be defending the YWC title at Backlash? Well, you want to know something there, pal? Robert, this belt is like the hardcore title. It's open for business 24/7, motherfuckers. And still, nobody is able to fucking dethrone me as the champion. So, Backlash? What? Backlash? Let me tell you something. I'm always open for business. You want this title, you come get it. Still nobody can take it from me. Doesn't matter if it's a pay-per-view. You could have it at the laundromat. You could have it at the grocery store. Wherever you could find me, you could come and try to take this title. All right, so Tommy Herman asked, Zayn is champ or Hillary is president? What do you think? Of course, I'd rather have Sami Zayn as champion. I mean, come on. Hillary is going to be the death of this nation, and everybody fucking knows that. I know you asking that to be funny, but really, I mean, what do you think I'm going to say? Of course, Zayn being a champion on a fake wrestling show compared to Hillary Clinton destroying every single, moral fiber that's left in this country and pretty much having another 4 years of Obama. Yeah, I'd rather have Zayn be champion for 10 years. The God Awaken asks, any game I'm excited to play for the holiday season? And, well, you actually already said it in the comments. Yeah, Gears of War 4. I'm fucking excited as hell to play that game. It looks fucking beautiful. It looks gorgeous. And, yeah, I'm definitely going to be getting that game when it comes out. So, yeah, other than that, Sonic Mania doesn't come out until next year. So, yeah, it's not a lot of games out that I'm, like, flipping my fucking shit for. Oh, and Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'll probably, I'll probably get Pokemon Sun, maybe. Maybe Moon. Who the fuck knows? I'll get one of them. But, yeah, pretty much those two games. All right, so let's start off on the next one. YT Critical asks, who will be the next president? What do I honestly think? I think it is going to be Hillary. You all know that I want it to be Trump, but, it'll probably be Hillary. Things are so fucking rigged in this country. I mean, the fact that Donald Trump speaks in fucking venues that are massive. Hillary can only get like 10 people to come watch her, and somehow we're supposed to believe that right now Trump is only leading her by 2 measly points. You're telling me that is not manipulated? There is going to be so much voter fraud, especially with all the illegals who are not even supposed to be voting. It's going to be a miracle. Unless so many people show up to vote, and people are going to vote for Trump in secrecy, because I know there's a lot of people who are embarrassed to say they support Trump because it's unpopular to say that, because he's so politically incorrect, and because of the illegal immigration issue, people are very sensitive about it. And so I think that a lot of people will go to the polls and vote for Trump, even though they're telling their friend next to them that they're not. But yeah, if there isn't some type of miracle, it will be Hillary, sadly. Melvin Wright asks, do you think that WWE would give Cesaro an actual personality? They do want to give him a James Bond type of gimmick. I'll say Jeff Lane's thing about making him more like Jason Statham is probably more up his alley, since he, kind of resembles him a bit. Not much, but he, you want to give him a very cool and suave look. Look, it's kind of obvious that Cesaro, can work the crowd. He's got a little bit of charisma in him. It's just a matter of finding the right character and what he feels comfortable doing. Because that's the only time that these guys are going to show what they can do. They have to be comfortable in what they're doing. And I don't think they've given Cesaro, like, anything that he can really work with. Like with the James Bond type of thing. They're giving him the entrance. They're giving him the gun barrel on, on the video wall there. But other than that, the suit, the sunglasses, and that's about it. But no personality to match. And maybe he needs to put a little bit more oomph in the promos that he does deliver. Glenn Gilberti, the Disco Inferno, had also said on a recent Russo podcast that Cesaro needs to start raising his voice a little bit. Like I said, put a little bit more oomph in it. Just a little bit more excitement, a bit more angst, just a little something to get a bit more noticed. Because a lot of times he plays it a little bit too cool, and it's comes off as very forgettable. Jake Wade asks, what do you think of modern day feminism? I think it's a fucking travesty, is what it is. I think that it's caused a lot of, a lot of things to change in TV and film. I think that it's really bad. And it's also caused a lot of men to be scared. And I don't blame them. Because now with feminism, I mean, this shit has led to a lot of, like, sexual harassment lawsuits where guys haven't even sexually harassed people. I mean, it just is. Now do you realize that in order for a woman to bring any type of sexual harassment charges against you at work, that there doesn't even need to be any proof of it? They just have to say it. Now, to really just say that no, and I'm not even kidding. Check it out. I want you to go check your jobs, handbook or wherever it is that you work, or ask your boss about the rules. There doesn't even need to be any proof. I was listening to a recent story about a guy who was actually in jail for like 6 months or something like that because a girl lied and said that he raped her. And then they found that she lied. Does she go to jail? I don't think that she did. But this guy is sitting there rotting in jail while this woman just lies. I mean, how scary is it that a girl at your job could actually say, oh, he raped me, and then that's it? The next thing you know, you're fired, you're being brought up on criminal charges for rape. No proof, no nothing. And that also speaks volumes about the criminal justice system. How we've been talking about how it's broken. Fuck what you've been saying about cops and shit like that. Fuck you. I'm talking about this now. This is serious. There could be a crime brought against your name, and you could be in jail with there not even being any proof of it. And that is a product of feminism. It is female supremacy. Because, oh man, I could go on and on about this guy, but I want to try to answer these questions fast, but I also want to give you a nice complete answer. So let me put it to you like this. This is what I think of militant feminism. There's nothing wrong with, I guess, being a feminism and being proud of who you are. It's like nationalism or being proud of, your particular race. It's just as long as it doesn't become militant and you start hurting others, lynching others. And, well, it's militant feminism is a lot like affirmative action. How do we deal with the inequalities of men and women? Well, we do the same thing that we do with affirmative action. We take a black and a white candidate for a job. They have the same credentials. Let's give it to the black person. Racism right there. You people want to talk about racism? You want to talk about Donald Trump being racist? Every single job in this country that is an equal opportunity employer is racist because they hire based on race. So how do we deal with the inequalities of men and women? We do the same thing. We believe women over men, even if it is a hideous crime they're being accused of. Oh, well, a woman said it's true. Oh, well, then it must be true. And I'm very happy that you asked this question, Jake Wade. Seriously, this is one of the best questions of the whole Q&A because I am so happy that you gave a chance for me to talk about this. I am going to be doing a future video on that, by the way. You've kind of inspired me, and I thank you for that. Because yeah, as you can see, I got triggered just by fucking hearing feminism because I've heard way too many fucking things. And oh yeah, it was actually a caller on Michael Savage's show that told this story. And that wasn't the first time I've heard that. I'm just saying it was a more recent example of somebody who said that, where they were accused of raping somebody and they didn't. I mean, seriously, how scary is it that you could be like, such a quiet person, not bother anybody, and just one day, boom, somebody has it in for you and you're accused of rape. Gothic Wigger. Whoa, okay, Gothic Wigger. Yeah. Why does Byron Saxon look like a car template? CAW, creator wrestler. That was not me who actually came up with that. I'm sorry. I don't know who originally said that. Maybe that person will come out in the comments. But why does he look like a car template? Because he just does. He looks generic. He sounds generic. He's a fucking goofball. Byron's sex addict. The Chase Allen. Who inspired excuse me. Who inspired you to do YouTube? Believe it or not, I was excuse me. Remember, I'm still getting over a fucking cold here. I'm still doing all this talking. Believe it or not, in late 2008, I really started watching a lot of vloggers. And the people that I really liked was Dan the Norseman, who was like a metalhead, and he'd do some rants and some funny little skits. And then I watched Wobble Bottom. He has a different name on here now. I forget what it is, but I really liked the style that these guys did. And this is going to get into like how I do these type of. Basically, these guys would just get their camera, like or Wobble Bottom would just get like his camera phone, and he would just fucking be there talking in front of his phone, and just making these videos with like no cuts. And I was like, I really like that fucking style, as opposed to these very polished, well put together videos that seem so professional. I was like, I really enjoy this style, like this guerrilla style of video, where it's like, say anything, do anything. These guys were really politically incorrect. They were cursing. They were talking like real people. Like, I felt like I was in the room with them. Very intimate. And I was like, you know what? I got to buy a camera, and I got to go do this. I bought a really shitty camera off of Amazon, which I don't even use anymore. And, I wish I could kind of show those videos to you guys, but those were on my older computer, my old hard drive. And they're gone, unfortunately. I took a lot of those videos off of YouTube, and I've mentioned that I'm kind of sorry that I did do that. But there you go. That's kind of who inspired me. Kind of those two guys. I didn't really watch a lot of people. I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And, oh, yeah, also AVGN. He was more professional. The Irate Gamer. I liked those guys and, just their style. But it was really those two guys, like Dan the Norseman and Wobble Bottom, where I really liked, what they were going for, that type of approach. Uh, Boston Kennedy writes, are you going to do more relationship videos? Like talking about like getting into relationships and how it is. And yeah, I will. If you guys want that, if you want that, you're asking for a request. Okay, I'll do one. I'll do another one. Just like I said, I could do fucking 50, 100 videos on some of these topics. Even if I've already talked about it already, if you want me to go in more in depth or you want me to go on a specific path of talking about a particular topic, I'll do it. It doesn't need to be a totally new topic. If you want me to talk about something again, I'll do it. Also, like, give me a specific of what exactly do you want me to talk about relationships, or I could just give you one and we'll just see where we end up. Okay, so you let me know. Revolution Zone 316 2.0 says, have you ever heard of Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, and Toonami? And if I have, what's my favorite? What's my favorite? Of course, I've heard of Cartoon Network. I have heard of Cartoon Network since it came out, which was like 90, 1994 or 95 or something like that. Adult Swim, yes. Toonami, that's where I watched Dragon Ball Z and, a lot of other great shows. Now, when it comes to Adult Swim, what's my favorite show? I love the Brat Show. I even liked Home Movies, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law is a genius fucking show. Um, Space Ghost Coast to Coast, which, oh god, I really wish I could see that show back. Pretty much any of the Space Ghost, any of the Hanna-Barbera spin-offs. Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, that's a fucking amazing show. I need to get those DVDs. I need to fucking, they need to put that on Netflix. God. Or the same thing goes for Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Those shows are pure fucking magic. And those shows, like, illustrate my sense of humor down to a T. I think that those shows are so well written, and the type of comedy that they go for, it's so off the wall. It is so original. I think that those shows are fucking great. GH Magma writes, what wrestler, in your opinion, has the best gimmick? The best. I forget if you meant like of all time or like currently. If we're talking currently, who has the best gimmick? Man, um, no one really has a gimmick, so I'm gonna just say I think Heath Slater is showing the most personality now, so let's go with that. And of all time, who has the best gimmick? I'm gonna go with Stone Cold Steve Austin, my favorite wrestler of all time. I think the badass, renegade, ass kicker. I think he showed the most personality and charisma, had a sense of humor. So yeah, there you go. Kevin Lynn writes, do you have anything against Smart Busters for not liking Daniel Bryan? I've never had any run-ins with the Smart Busters. And if they don't want to like Daniel Bryan, I could see why maybe somebody might not like Daniel Bryan. For the same reasons maybe that I don't like Sami Zayn. The only thing is that Daniel Bryan actually had charisma and could actually get a whole crowd behind him, like a whole arena full of people. And could sell merchandise. No, but if like, I'm gonna have a problem with somebody because they don't like a wrestler. That would make me a hypocrite. Because don't I always say that these people are insane for hating others because they don't like somebody's favorite wrestler? So It's fine. Don't like Daniel Bryan. I'm not gonna fucking hate them. Corey Steinmetz writes, "What is the best wrestling show you have ever been to?" I guess that would be WrestleMania 20. I mean, it doesn't get any bigger than that. It's better. I mean, what are the wrestling shows that I've been to? I was at No Mercy 2004. I was at WrestleMania 29. It's obviously not going to be that one. So yeah, WrestleMania 20 when the Killer Chris Benoit won the fucking title. It was an exciting moment. There was some quality matches on the card. And yeah, I was happy to be there. Shreds writes, thoughts of WWE from 2005 to 2008. I remember when I watched 2005, I wasn't crazy about it because it was like a big decline in quality. But like looking back on it, you know, it was okay compared to what we have now. I'd take 2005 like 10 times over what we're getting now. I mean, at least they built matches, they built stories, there was drama, there was more excitement, there were better promos. But 2005, you could tell that's when things started to get a bit shaky. I remember '06 was a little bit better. Um, you know, 2007, 2008. I'm not going to say that they were bad years, but you could just definitely see that WWE was going in a different direction. And in 2008, they went PG, and you could see that they were going a different way. That it wasn't the way that I wanted the company to go. But they weren't necessarily bad years. And they were better than now. So, I guess that makes them okay by today's standards. God Phoenix 66X writes, what made you change your mind about Roman Reigns after all the hate videos you did in the past? He improved. I keep telling people this 1,000 times, but I guess people just enjoy me talking about this. And, that's the great thing. You can make 100 rants. Like I said, I could talk about the same topic all day and just, keep finding new ways to discuss a topic. And if that's what you guys want, that's what I'll give you guys. All right. So why? I said this. I stand by what I said. I'm a colorful talker when I get on here. And, I could make Roman Reigns sound like fucking Satan if I wanted to, because I could do that. It's my video. And, if I want to just shit talk the whole video, I can make him sound like the worst person in the world. But let's be perfectly honest. The way how Roman Reigns won the title in the tournament, they took it away from him. They put him in this stupid storyline where it was like he was trying to be Stone Cold, and that's what they wanted it to be. It was a complete fucking failure. So I pretty much, I might have blamed Reigns a bit too much. It's not his fault. I mean, his delivery on the tater tots bit, I'm still going to say that was fucking horrible. I'm not going to lie and say that was good, or in retrospect, it's, no. That stuck with me because that just sounded fucking stupid. But was that Roman Reigns' line? No, they gave him that line. So the Roman Reigns character, let's put it that way. I'm blaming the character, not the guy, whatever the fuck his real name is. But I'm just watching Roman Reigns with AJ Styles, wrestling AJ Styles in a match, and what do I see? I see a good match. I see Roman Reigns selling. I'm entertained. So, I'm not going to watch this match and just say Roman Reigns hasn't improved, because he has. And then they gave him a couple opportunities on the mic where he sounded a lot better. He sounded a lot more comfortable. Now, maybe they were giving him better lines, but there wasn't anything that great. He just seemed a bit more cool. Coming out there talking to Rusev, he sounded a lot better. And pretty much it's like, I'm not saying that I love Roman Reigns, that I'm worshiping Roman Reigns, that Roman Reigns is the best thing since motherfucking sliced bread or sliced pineapple or sliced coconut. I'm just saying that the guy, he's all right. He's not bad. I don't hate him. Roman Reigns is not the worst of all time. He's all right, and he's improved. Daniel Leitch writes, if you had a chance to hang out with a WWE wrestler, past or present, who and why? If it's somebody from the present, it would be Dana Brooke. Why? What do you think? If it's somebody from the past, probably Sable or Trish Stratus or probably Lita. Any of them. One of the fucking divas. You know, as long as it ain't fucking Luna or some shit like that, or Mae Young. But yeah. I want a piece of fucking Dana. Yeah. Anyway, Weapon Alex writes, favorite year for movies? I don't know. That's a really hard question to say because, like, my favorite movies of all time are all spread out. Back to the Future, 1985. Star Wars, 1977. What was Raiders of the Lost Ark? That was 1980. That's like really impossible to say, but I mean, my favorite franchise of all time is Star Wars, so I guess 1977. Perhaps. Hayden Huffman. When will WWE go TV 14 again? Never. I did a video about this 2 years ago, where I said that they are never again going to be anything but TV PG. And why did I say this? Now, they're fucking schizophrenic. I mean, they do shit that is like so fucking inappropriate and just in bad taste. And, you know, like, you could even make the argument with when they did Old Day. You know, you could even say like that was like offensive to the elderly. There you go. You see, it's all about them being politically correct. You know, they don't want to piss people off. They've got, you know, too many eggs in the baskets of, you know, Susan G. Coleman, Connor's Cure. They want to be widely accepted. They don't really care. It really doesn't seem like they care so much about the ratings. They're not really about that. They're happy having their niche audience. They're happy that they have the IWC and the YWC in their pocket. They're happy that they get supported by all these different groups. Ratings are not important to them. So that's why they're never going to have the TV 14 rating again. And if they were going to have it, it's been 8 years already. Don't you think that if they were going to, that at least the idea might have went through their head? You think they don't see that, you know, TV 14, they even had Paul Heyman when they had the Jerry the King Lawler heart attack. You know, they said TV 14. You know, they know that fans want TV 14. So it's not like a mystery to them. It's not like, you know, they're somehow oblivious. They know. You know, we keep on saying, oh, you know, McMahon is clueless. He knows exactly what people are talking about, what's said about the company, but he obviously doesn't care about ratings. And he knows that if he turns it TV 14, Susan G. Komen, Connor's Cure, that stuff is not going to be around anymore. They want that stuff. They want to look good, you know, in the media's eyes. You know, think about it. Remember, all they used to get was negative press. You know, every week during, like, you know, the Attitude Era and stuff, things were coming out in the news media. People were doing wrestling moves to one another. One time there was a kid who killed his little sister, doing a wrestling move to her. And then there was, things with, like women getting abused, and they would blame it on WWE. I remember when Stacy Keebler got put through the table. That was it. That was the last time you ever saw like one of the girls go through a table, by another guy. They still did things with the guys grabbing the girls by the hair, or they would they would still do things every now and then. Like he still had like Orton giving the RKO to Stephanie. I think that happened, but it was very few and far between, and they would not, constantly do it. And then now they just dwindled it down because they just don't want that type of negative attention. Because McMahon got sick every single time they did something, they would be negative. Now you would think that like if they wanted to remain popular with like everybody and be shocking and do Crash TV, they would do that. But that's not what McMahon wants. They don't want that image. They want the positive press. They want, Cena to be able to go on ESPN, talk. It's all positive. It's better for them, to be boring than be exciting and adventurous. It's really sad, and I fucking hate it as much as the next person, but it's like understandable. And that's why nobody's gonna watch, because they don't want to take a chance. They rather just be boring and be widely accepted. So, but that's why it's never gonna come back. Why are so And then you have a GSTS in parentheses 2. Um, why are so many wrestling YouTubers shitting out videos at such a slow pace? And then you mentioned Sean's View and other people slowing down. Um, I don't really have an answer for that. If I had to take a guess, it's probably like similar to me. Work schedules, some of these people like me, they make some money off of YouTube, but not a lot of money. So they're not really able to support themselves here on YouTube like some of the bigger ones. Like Sean's View supports himself, but he's not, when you compare him to other YouTubers out there, like PewDiePie, for example, guys with like millions of subs or a half a million subs. Sean's View is like, what does the guy have now? I kind of lost track. I don't even think he has 100,000. There's still wrestling YouTubers out there that have more. So the guy still struggles. But Sean's View, I don't know. He's been going through some rough times, and not trying to take any shots at Sean. But Sean has a lot of stuff going on. I don't talk to the guy personally. If I did, I'd probably mention it here. But I don't. So, people, I kind of see what you mean, putting things out at a slower rate. I've noticed that, WJ doesn't put it out as much. And, I don't know. It's maybe because wrestling has just gotten so boring. We don't have the passion anymore to do it. I mean, I never thought that I'd just solely rely on YouTube videos because the show became so unbearable. And it's like nothing happens on these shows. It's so uneventful. They haven't had something huge happen in a long time. The best thing that we had happen was Shane McMahon returning. And even that didn't even turn out to be so great. What was earth shattering about it? Right now wrestling is very solemn. There's nothing really going on. There's not really a lot to talk about. We didn't really have a big story. Probably the biggest story that was causing a lot of controversy was when Ultimate Warrior died. That's when things really blew up here in the YWC. You had a lot of different opinions, a lot of back and forth. Me teaming up with WJ, and that was probably the last time we had anything really exciting happen. And there's nothing really exciting anymore to really talk about, so can't really, force excitement here. And that's probably why. It's probably things came up in their lives, or They're just not feeling the passion anymore. That's probably the reason why. Um, and I'm going to wrap things up with this last question. Jackie D, some of your favorite TV shows of all time. Of all time, well, I'm a big fan of cartoons. So we could say, Dragon Ball Z, the Ninja Turtles, Hey Arnold, a lot of like old school Nickelodeon and Space Goes Coast to Coast. I mentioned before. I mentioned that before with the Cartoon Network question. Other shows that I enjoyed, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, like anything that was on TGIF, like Full House or Family Matters. And when I was a kid, I used to really love Sabrina the Teenage Witch, for example. But of all time, like, or more current, Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, um, you know, Gotham, Daredevil, Jessica Jones. I'd even put those shows, those are newer shows. And I'd say I've never had that much enjoyment before out of a show. So definitely put those there. Lost is maybe one of the greatest, sci-fi drama shows there ever was and ever will be. Um, I enjoyed the first season of Heroes. That also put as like some of the best TV writing I've seen. So those are some of them. Seinfeld, Herbie Enthusiasm. Those are like two of my favorite sitcoms of all time. Big Bang Theory is kind of going downhill. Not as funny as it used to be because there's already been quite a few seasons. So I'd also put that there as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And oh yeah, like the '90s Spider-Man, X-Men, the Batman cartoons, and the Superman as well. Um, I have a lot of shows that I enjoy, as you can tell, and those are some of them. All right, guys. So I might do a part two. Like I said, if I didn't answer your question, I'll go through the comments again. I'll try to write some more down for a part two. I'll probably do it at a later date. Maybe like in another week or so, or maybe in a couple of days. Who knows? When I get the time. Um, all right, guys. So there you go. There's your FAQ, motherfuckers. FAQ Q&A. I don't know, at the beginning of the video, I wanted to say FAQ. I think I even started the video up and stopped it at first because I said FAQ. I don't know why I always say that. Q&A, that's what we're doing here to celebrate the 5,000 subscribers. And once again, motherfuckers, thank you so much for getting me that far on YouTube. I obviously couldn't do that myself. It's all about people clicking subscribe, watching, enjoying, and clicking subscribe. So that's what it's all about. And I hope you guys continue to click subscribe, the ones who haven't already who are watching, because that would be great. So, here's to another 5,000. It might not happen. Maybe it will. Who the hell knows? All right.